In section 1.6, we're going to learn about slope and average rate of change. So we're going to calculate the slope of a line from a graph, and then we're also going to calculate the rate of change from data. So starting off, hopefully you recall from Algebra 1, and maybe even before that we have this vocab word slope. We represent slope with the letter M. It's the amount of vertical change divided by the amount of horizontal change. So we call this the change in y divided by the change in x. So for y, you're either moving up or down, and then when you change your x, you're either moving to the right or to the left. So check it out, and numbers 1, 2, and 3, go ahead and complete the slope. Find the slope of each line. So for number 1, when we put dots along the line, we're going to go up 2, and then I went over 4, which is the same as going up 1 and then to the right 2. So 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2. Number 1, this is a positive slope. From left to right, you're moving up. The line is going up. You would walk along the line up. Number 3, I'm going to skip number 2 for a second. Number 3, I'm going down 5 and then to the right 1, which reduces to -5. When you read this graph from left to right, the line is going down. If you were to walk along this line, you'd be moving downwards. So this is a negative slope. All right, going back to number 2. For number 2, you have to think to yourself, is it possible to walk across this line? And if it is, then my slope would be 0. The equation of this line is y equals 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and, on this same picture, I'm going to go ahead and draw a vertical line. Now for this line, is it possible to walk along this line? And the answer is no. So for my red line, we could say that the slope is undefined. So anytime that we have y equals a number, my slope is going to be 0. In this case, this is going through the x-axis, so we have x equals the number 6 because it's going through 6. So anytime that we have x equals, my slope is undefined. For numbers 4, 5, and 6, you're going to go the change in y over the change in x. So you're going to calculate how many numbers are in between 1 and 3, and I'm going up 2. I'm going to put a 2 in the numerator. From 3 to 4, I'm going up 1, so I'm going to put a 1 in the numerator. And then from 4 to 6, we're going up 2 again. So again, 2 in the numerator. Divided by, we're going to put our change in x in the denominator. So this is tricky because given tables like we have in numbers 4, 5, and 6, x is on top and y is on the bottom. We need to make sure that we have the change in y divided by the change in x. So from 2 to 8, I'm going up 6. So we have a 6 in the denominator. From 8 to 11, I'm going up 3. So we have a 3 in the denominator. And then from 11 to 17, I'm going up 6 again. So we have a 6 in the denominator. Now, as long as all 3 of these equal the same thing, or reduced to the same number, which they do, they all reduce to 1/3, so my slope is 1/3. Go ahead and try out numbers 5 and 6. In number 5, we get -3 over 2, and then in number 6, we have -1. Go ahead and pause the video if you did not get these and get them down on your papers. In numbers 7, 8, and 9, we're given equations, and I'm going to go ahead and write down the original form of the equation. Number 7, this is in point slope form, so we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. In number 8, we have y equals mx plus b, and then in number 9, this is also in y equals mx plus b. In number 7, m represents slope, so therefore my slope is 1/2. In number 8, once again, m represents slope, so my slope is -19, which is the same as saying -19 over 1, or 19 over -1. And then finally, in number 9, this -7 is actually in the B position. And if you go ahead and look back up at number 2, was a y equals 4 and the slope was 0. So we have y equals -7, which means that the slope would also be 0 because we have y equals 0x minus 7. So negative 7 goes to the b. There's a 0 next to the x because 0 times x would be 0. In number 10, you're going to go ahead and figure out the slope of each of the ordered pairs. So again, we're doing the change in y. So from 19 to 10, I'm going down 9, divided by the change in x. From 24 to 8, you're going down 16. So my slope between these 2 points would be negative 9 over negative 16. So is it the same as 4 over 3? Definitely not. So A is not the answer. You're going to go ahead and do the same thing in letter B. So from 10 to 2, I'm going down 8. From 28 to 22, I'm going down 6. So my slope is negative 8 divided by negative 6, which reduces to a positive over a positive. So B is an answer. Go ahead and work on C, D, E, and F and figure out for the select all that applies what also has a slope of 4 over 3. In letter C, you'll get negative 3 divided by negative 4, which is the same as 3 over 4. So C is not an answer. In letter D, we have negative 8 divided by positive 6, which is negative 4 over positive 3, so D is not an answer. In letter E, we have negative 3 divided by negative 4, and we reduce to positive over positive, but E is not an answer. And then in letter F, we have negative 4 divided by negative 3, which reduces to positive 4 divided by positive 3, and F also matches the slope of 4 over 3. In number 13, a line has a slope of negative 2 over 3. The line is passing through this point. We're going to find 2 other points that must lie on the line and write our answers in ordered pair. So we're going to start off with this 7, 1. And as we move to the right, we're going to figure out an ordered pair that would lie on the line. So since it lies on the line, it's going to have the same slope as negative 2 over 3. And then we're also going to go in the opposite direction. So negative 2 over 3, this is the change in y divided by the change in x. So just like you did for midpoint, we're going to be counting to get to the next spot. So from my y, which is at 1, I'm going to go down 2. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1, and then we're going to do it all over again. We're going to subtract 2 from negative 1 to get negative 3. So these are our y coordinates for our 2 new points. If I were to go in the opposite direction, instead of negative 2, I would go positive 2. So we have 1 plus 2, which is 3. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing for x. So my change in x is 3. So from 7, I'm going to do plus 3 to get 10, and then 10 plus 3 to get 13. So right now we have completed 2 ordered pairs, but we're also going to go the opposite way. The opposite of positive 3 is negative 3. So 7 minus 3 gets me 4. So here are 3 ordered pairs as answers. We have 4, 3, 10, negative 1, and 13, negative 3. And if you check it out, we have negative 2 over 3, which matches negative 2 over 3. Over here, we have 2 over negative 3, which is the same thing as negative 2 over 3. The negative sign, as long as the entire fraction is negative, it's going to be negative. You could put it in the numerator, denominator, or out in front. Either way, it's a negative slope. It has to contain a negative. You can skip number 14, but go ahead and work on numbers 15 and on the closure for today. So for number 15, with a slope of 3, you can rewrite it as 3 over 1. So I went 3 to my y and then add 1 to my x. And we get these ordered pairs of negative 1, negative 8, 1, negative 2, and then 2, 1. And then our closure, you have to calculate the slope of the line passing through each set of points. So we're just finding the slope of each. So as we're finding the slope, you're counting your change in y divided by your change in x. So for number 1, you should have gotten 8. In number 2, 0 divided by 6 is equal to 0. And then in number 3, 4 over 11 is just the same as 4 over 11. And those are your answers. So we were able to calculate the slope.